listen, CEOs and CTOs, if your developers are still writing code, you're behind the curve. They should not be writing. Hey, welcome to the Velocity Lab. I'm Dave.
And I'm Dan. We work inside engineering organizations every day, helping them ship faster with AI. Not in theory, but inside their actual teams. We come here and share what we're seeing in the field, what's working, what isn't, and what most people are getting wrong. No hype, no BS.
No BS, Dan. That's how we roll. You know, that's how we roll. Today we're talking about why does org-wide AI transformation keeps failing? So we have a bunch of clients that we're doing AI transformation for. We also talked to a bunch of other companies, had a bunch of intro calls that have tried AI adoption and they fail. That's why they call us. And let's just talk about some things that we see, like what are people doing that make them fail?
I think, so one of the things is, it's not that they fail necessarily. I'm just going to say it. It's just, it's slower than they want it to be. And trying to move the entire org is slow. And in our opinion, we like to see things move fast, and momentum gains traction and kind of helps the org go faster. So if you're trying to make an entire organization of 100, 200 engineers move, it's going to go slow and people are just, it's going to feel like a slog and it's going to take forever. So what we like to do is get with a small team and see things move fast. Like 2 months, our org program is 2 months as well. But by the end of it, we're just like, we just got started.
Yeah, we just got started. I think another symptom, and I talked with another podcast, is that when you have Copilot and you have ChatGPT and you have Codex and you have Gemini CLI, when it existed, it's been deleted. And you have Claude. Dude, pick one tool, Claude Code. And
wait, they deleted Gemini CLI?
Yeah, Gemini is canceled, dude. It's canceled. Yeah, they pull it back. So basically the market's shrinking, right? Now you have, what do you have left? Copilot, Cursor, which who knows going ahead, right? And you have Claude, you have Codex, but Claude Code is the answer, man. That's just Claude's the way to go, right? That's the market leader right now. That's the way to go. Yeah, so it's definitely org-wide is hard, man. Also, you're dealing with humans, right? This is a huge change, right? You and I started working on this a year ago, right? And then we just started, we had a long path. We've been doing this for a year, but for some reason, this just made sense to both of us. We're like, this is the future. This is my career now. Everything's changing. For whatever reason, however we are wired, it made sense to us, right?
Yeah.
But it's not going to make sense to everybody, right?
The thing is, it's not only does it have to make sense, but there's also a lot of fear associated with it. So I would actually, so I don't know if I should go down this path.
Go down the path, Dan. Go. We love when you go down the path.
So I did a therapy session with Claude this week.
Oh, you did? Okay, nice.
Because, we're doing something that wouldn't have been possible without AI. We could have started a company. It would have been much harder without AI. Now Claude is doing so much of all the admin work, all the stuff that we just don't want to do.
We don't want to do.
It's helping us ship stuff faster, all this stuff, right? Amazing. But then on the flip side of it, it's like, when is my job going away?
Yeah.
And so I think this is one of the problems, because the tech industry is always, one of the things that excited me about the tech industry for the past 20 plus years is that my job is always changing. Tech is always evolving. Things are always happening. But now, and so engineers are wired to go to this stuff. But now it's not only changing and evolving, but instead of call centers or whoever being the target of tech disrupting, it's now engineers being the target.
Yeah, wait, they're disrupting me.
Hold on a second.
I don't like this.
I honestly think a lot of this fear is also what's holding people back too.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I haven't had my Claude therapy session yet, Dan. But yeah, there definitely is fear. There's fear from management too. It's really hard to describe. And I think another thing that we encountered this month, at least, is people adopting Claude and all of a sudden getting a giant bill. And they're like, wait, our bill tripled the last month. I'm like, that's good and bad. But bottom line is, if you're going to be spending money but not shipping faster, that's a symptom that your AI org-wide AI adoption has failed, right? That's what, are we shipping faster? No. Okay, so we doubled our bill, but we're not shipping faster, right? So that's when you want to hire App Vitals that's us, Dan, to come in and help you guys because we can really help you do that. But we change it. Instead of trying to adopt your whole org, we basically form a tiger team. I don't know if you've ever used that in your career, Dan, tiger team, right? Basically, we go to
actually, we used to call it war room. But
war room.
People started getting angry.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
War room is out.
That's too
By the way,
violent or something like that. So we need to call it a tiger.
By the way, my new agent that's running on our product is called War Child. We're big Point Break fans here. But yeah, so org-wide adoption is not the way to go. You can adopt your org, but you got to start small. What we find is find your most important, the team that's working on your main product, right? Your most important product. And we embed with them and we build this system with a small group of people, not a big group of people, a small group of people. At the end of the product, you're going to have this whole system that you can apply to your entire company, right? And then there's decisions that need to be made, right? Because if all of a sudden, if you go from spending $20,000 a month on Claude Code, now you've built this whole system, now you're spending $500,000 a month on Claude Code, there's going to have to be decisions made, right? If you're moving faster, that's great, but there's definitely a disruption coming for us as engineers. Right? There's definitely some disruption coming.
It's interesting. We will see. I think so. All of the firings or layoffs or whatever you want to call it is happening. AI is the reason that everybody's saying. I think there's mixed opinions. I don't necessarily believe it. I think like people are tightening down. They're getting more serious. They're not expanding quite as much. And I think it has to do with the economy more than AI. And it's going to shift back to, oh, we have AI. Now we just want to ship more. We want to build more.
Yep.
And I think engineers will keep their jobs eventually, but that's also just like
my
prediction.
Yeah. So I think so. Our advice, I don't know. So if you want to transform your org, start small, start with one team, right? One team, let's really focus, but you have to invest time.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, go do this. Hey, no.
I think that there's still the things that work, like full org things that work, is share what you're doing with your team. What have you guys learned? So that tiger team or whatever you want to call it, they're sharing with the org. They're saying, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. So I do think org-wide education is still important. And even the learning sessions that we do with folks, I think it's important, but it's not going to move the needle in 2 months. But that education is important. People need to start using Claude Code across the org. That adoption number, which is the easiest one to move, it's like what percentage of PRs are created with Claude? You can get that up to 90% in a month.
Yeah,
but that doesn't necessarily mean you're moving faster.
Yep, because of all the other things we talked about. Your SDLC is slow,
but
right?
You still do want folks using Claude Code and getting comfortable with it, because then when you go to managed agents and autonomous coding, they need to make that shift. So it's upfront work, but you're not going to see the speed payoffs right away.
Yeah.
So I think the learning sessions is all good. I think we should keep those, but we also want to make sure and focus that we're moving the needle in one org and we're going all in. We want autonomous. Now we want autonomous programming. Right? We're not building a marketplace. Maybe we are a little bit, but the end goal is autonomous programming. Your marketplace, your skills, your plugins, they're going to power that autonomous programming, but they're not the goal anymore.
Yeah. We said in a previous podcast, I think Dan, you one of us said this. If you're still writing code, you're a dinosaur. Now that got some comments, but that's a fact. Right now, in what is today's date? May 20 something, right? Of 2026. Listen, CEOs and CTOs, if your developers are still writing code, you're behind the curve. They should not be writing code, right? Dan and I built a system to write code for us. We use it. Our clients use it. There's a million other options out there. You don't have to use App Vitals. If your developers are writing code, you need to look in the mirror and find out why, because you should not be writing code at this point. There's a bunch of AI can't solve every problem, but one problem AI can solve, and we know this, AI can write code at this point in time right now.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that it's going to get it right 100% of the time.
But neither will us as humans.
Right. You go from task to PR or multiple tasks to PR, and then you review it. You might iterate with AI on that PR, but I think it's just, as a principal engineer, it's basically what I was doing, but now Claude is doing all of the writing of the code, right?
Yep.
I might assign some tasks to some folks. They put up a PR. I review the PR. They clean up the PR. But Claude is the one that's putting up the PR, cleaning up the PR, and I'm still just reviewing code. And now I can, and similar to before, right? I would review 20, 50 PRs a day. I'm doing that with Claude. But I was doing it for the whole organization before. So it's nuts. And PRs are much larger, so you have to do it with Claude. You can't do it you could do it on your own. It's just going to slow you down a little bit.
And I find that it's actually the job, your real value as an engineer is really like when you become senior is not writing code, right? It's more planning and mentoring and stuff like that. And that's still in play. That is still 100%. Even though all we're doing is removing the coding, but if you're still coding, again, you're a dinosaur right now.
Your mentoring now is the system that you're building.
You're mentoring the
Claude
system.
Code because Claude Code out of the box is amazing and it can do a lot, but that system is really what gets you the power still right now.
Just a couple of things. You have to flatten your org is another one. We've talked about this before. These super top heavy management, top down oppressive, that does not work in the future. Because again, you're not writing code anymore, right? You shouldn't have to write code anymore, right? That's autonomous. It runs 24 hours a day. It reviews codes 24 hours a day. So you don't need this super top heavy. It's like the wall between product and production is shrunk, right? Especially with autonomous coding. You can just
so let's just get this straight. Dave and I were never fans of top heavy, but I want to hear why. So I never wanted a top heavy org. I don't want a micromanager.
No, thank you.
I want autonomy. My manager's getting people out of my way so I can go fast. But Dave, what about AI makes this more true than it was before? Or is it just our biases that are pushing it?
It's just our biases. But I
don't know, Jack from Block, there is something about moving fast. If you're controlling people, you slow them down. They don't feel like they can move as fast. So even
empowerment, man, you have to be empowered. Because
you just got to let people do something. Even as someone who's reviewing PRs every day, it's like before AI, it was like, you know what, I could block on this or I could push back. But is it just my opinion? Is it just my biases that are going to actually slow down these developers? And really all that pushback when it's unnecessary, when it's people trying to control, is what slows people down. And I think what AI is actually doing is just people are realizing how fast they can go with larger organizations now, or they don't need the large organization. So now they just want to break it. All that bureaucracy that gets built up and nobody really liked anyways. They're just like, all right, now let's break it because we don't even whatever we thought we needed it for is gone now.
Dan, I do have an answer to your question. What is changing? Why do you have to flatten the org now? And I think it's just the rate of change is so fast that all these planning meetings and documents you're not doing that shit anymore. You're just you're getting something from a product, you're doing a plan, boom, it's live. You know what I mean?
Or product is prototyping it for you.
That's the whole thing. Build an autonomous coding agent that runs 24 hours a day. Have your product person talk to that with Slack. They can create their own, give them an environment where they can just create their own changes, right? Hey, I need to move this button or I want to add something or whatever. They can just do it themselves, right? And then engineer, hey, I did this. Okay, great. Import it, done.
I think we got it. It's speed and it's enabling 2-person, 5-person, 4-person teams. And the bigger companies are getting afraid because they can move so much faster than they used to. So they're like, okay, now we need to move fast. And now it's okay. We need to basically get this.
It's I got an analogy, Dan. It's not an analogy, but it's just like an office space, right? You had product people who interface with the customers.
What's happening?
And then you have developers, and you had that dude, what was his name, Norman? Is what is it you say you actually do here, right? So for me, that is top heavy engineering management. Get out of my way. The gates between product and engineering are going to be smaller. There's going to be much closer contact. Basically you can go from the product right to the developer because we have a system and the product, it basically it'd be so easy, just product creation PRD. You just simply ingest that and you code. You don't even code. It just does it for you.
I do think a lot of people are saying now that you can build everything fast, the thing that's important is figuring out what not to build. And so I still think there's a power there. And those decision makers, maybe you can have fewer of them because Claude is helping you make those decisions faster. But there's still a need for somebody making those decisions. It's product, it's engineering, it's whoever, depending on how you want to do. But really, it is about moving faster. But but you still need to make those decisions of what not to build, I think. Otherwise, your product just becomes...
No, we still have to... You still have to have people know what they're doing. That's the thing.
Yeah, right.
Just because
we need the expert
Yeah.
in every space to kind of help Claude. Claude's not really making decisions.
No.
It can help you make decisions, but usually 90% of the time it's deferring to you. Like,
Yeah, it is.
hey,
Yeah.
here's all the details. What do you want to do? I don't know if the labs are just directing it to do that, but Claude naturally does that. It doesn't make decisions.
Yeah,
like
our
that.
jobs now as engineers is planning
Yeah.
and reviewing. That's our job. The implementation part is, again, it's solved, right? If you're still writing code, you're
Yeah.
behind the times.
But flat orgs move fast.
That's
That's
flat
what I'm
orgs move
going
fast.
with.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. All right. That's it. If you want to engage with us, we're appvitals-vitals.com. Bye.